5 miles underground, a glowing lantern drifts through darkness. A seaside station, erased in a single night, and a steam locomotive, preserved in a frozen grave. These aren't myths, they're real places, where the tracks vanish into water and the dead are said to ride forever. Stay with me until the end, because the last one, you'll see what the divers saw, and you'll never forget it. In the hills of Massachusetts lies the Hoosac Tunnel, nearly 5 miles long. But what it's remembered for is death. By the time it opened in 1875, more than 190 workers had been killed. Explosions tore them apart. Cave-ins buried them alive. Floods rose without warning. The locals had a name for it, the Bloody Pit. But one tragedy stands above the rest. In 1867, 13 miners were sealed inside by an explosion. They survived for weeks in pitch blackness, building crude rafts as the water rose. When rescuers finally reached them, all 13 had drowned. Not long after, men working the tunnel reported seeing a strange glow, a blue light floating inches above the tracks. Some said it looked like a miner's lantern swinging gently in the dark. Others swore they saw the faint outline of a man holding it, a man with no head. In 1872, 3 investigators entered to prove it was just superstition. Minutes later, they ran out, white-faced and trembling. They claimed the blue light floated directly toward them before vanishing into solid stone. Even now, visitors speak of phantom voices, the steady tap of picks striking rock, and cries for help in a tunnel that should be silent. On the southeastern tip of India stood the town of Danushkodi, a seaside community connected by rail, bustling with life. On December 22, 1964, it vanished. That night, a cyclone roared out of the Bay of Bengal. Winds topped 100 miles an hour. Waves rose higher than 2-story buildings. The Pamban-Danushkodi passenger train was minutes away when the sea tore the bridge apart. The train plunged into the water. All 115 passengers were killed instantly. By morning, Danushkodi itself was erased. Over 1,800 people lost. Today, only ruins remain. Sand, stone, and broken walls. But locals insist the railway never died. Some nights, fishermen hear the low rumble of a phantom train, its whistle echoing over the surf before fading into silence. Others tell of dripping figures on the shoreline, passengers forever trying to reach a station that no longer exists. January 21st, 1910. Along the icy north shore of Lake Superior, Canadian Pacific Locomotive 694 hauled a heavy freight train. Snow blinded the crew. The rails vanished in white. Then, disaster. A rock slide crashed onto the track. The locomotive and several cars plunged into the freezing lake. The engineer, firemen, and brakemen went down with her. There was no rescue. There was no recovery. For almost a century, the wreck lay hidden, 200 feet below the surface, locked in darkness, until divers found it. Everything was still there. The boiler, the tender, the engineer's controls, all preserved by the cold. But some divers felt something else, an uneasy presence. One swore he heard a faint metallic ringing, as if someone was still working the engine, in the black silence of the lake. From tunnels soaked in blood, to towns swallowed by the sea, to locomotives sleeping in eternal ice. These are the railways that drowned but never died. Which one would you dare to visit? Tell us in the comments. I read all of them. To all my subscribers already aboard, thank you. This channel is a labor of love, built rail by rail, story by story, and your support keeps it moving forward. If you'd like to help keep track 13 on the rails, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this journey with others who crave the unknown. Until next time, remember, every track has a story,